Hey, 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 hey. Hey y'all. Hello everybody. I hope y'all can hear and see me okay as I was coming in. Of course, it said it was an era streaming in our Facebook. I see us over there. So hopefully somebody's getting us over there on that side of town. But yes, hello, 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 everyone. So let's get started for tonight. Of course, we're gonna have a few housekeeping rules. For those of you guys who's not on the East Coast, it's 8 o'clock here, so I am working from home. Nicole, you're working from home as well, I'm assuming.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's 8 o'clock here, so you may hear some dogs in the background barking. I have some dogs. You may hear them barking. You may hear some kids walking by, but they're not going to be screaming because I don't have any babies. But I'm just saying, full disclosure. And I'm in North Carolina. Right now is not sunny, but the birds are singing outside and it could be a storm in 5 seconds. Who knows? So we may
Oh,
lose
don't.
power. So anyway, those are my disclaimers. Nicole, you got any housekeeping that you want to drop before we get started?
I was going to say we just finished the storm here. So if for whatever reason my internet goes out, then I'll jump back on it just as soon as I can.
That's crazy. This weather,
Yeah.
boy, it
That's
comes out
North
of
Carolina
nowhere.
for you.
Yep. All right, let's get started. All right. Let me get us up here on the screen. All right. For those of you guys who don't know, we are doing our step-by-step guide to repairing your credit. So let's get started. Let's get started. For my audience, my people in the audience, can you guys hear us? Can you see us? Can you, all of us, any of that? Just let us know. All right, let's get rolling, Nicole. Let me get my
Okay.
presentation and stuff up. All right. So a little bit about me. That's me. This I'm Jessie Lynn. I am a wife. I am a mother. I've been in real estate since 2015. I just told you guys earlier, I am a pet owner as well. Um, I've I've been a board certified credit specialist since 2015 as well. Once I got my real estate license, I noticed there was a huge, huge need for people to have their credit fixed. So I decided to become a board certified credit specialist in 2015. I no longer repair credit, but I do help people fix their credit. Just because I love helping people. Miss Nicole.
Oh, so I am Nicole Crawford. I am a wife. I am a mother of three. I have one grandbaby that is 2 years old. He is like my love. I
Mhm.
have been in real estate, even though this says 2018. I've actually been in real estate and got my license since 2008. So I have been in it for a long time. Like unlike Jesse, I am not certified with in credit yet, but I have worked a lot of credit reports, including my own, and learned the journey the hard way. And I do have a passion to help people overcome the passion in the real estate journey is one thing that I love to see people reach the end. Well, not reach the end because we can always buy again, but I really love that journey and that adventure that I have with my clients.
Wow. So who typed that? Was that me or you, Nicole?
I'm not quite sure.
All right, y'all. So let me tell you guys a little bit about me. So look, I've been through a bankruptcy. I've had a foreclosure. I've had a foreclosure. I've had a repo. I've been up in a position where I couldn't get credit. Now I have creditors begging me to get loans. I am a homeowner now as well. And I can walk into any dealership and purchase any car that I want because I have good credit. So today I am going to teach you, we are going to teach you the exact strategies that we've and what we've done to fix our low credit scores along the way. Child, I can tell that it's been one of those days where I've been running and running, 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 running. Anyway, so you guys, why are you guys here? Why are you here? Are you here to buy a new car? Are you here because you want to get your first home? This is the Home Buyers Clubhouse. We have some other Facebook groups going on here as well. But why are you guys here tonight? Why are you attending this seminar? Do you want to build your credit? Do you need a loan? So I remember when I graduated from high school, and the only thing that I wanted to do was get a job and have good credit. My standards they were just very low. I just wanted a job, but hey, I didn't want to sit at home. Hey, so I just wanted a job and I just wanted good credit. I got my first apartment when I was 18 years old, and I quickly learned that it's not easy out here in these streets. It's not easy at all. My son, he's 21 right now, and he's talking about moving to Texas. So yeah, he's at
Uh,
home right now. He's gonna make a big move and move to Texas all by himself. So
oh,
yeah, he's gonna learn that it's not easy out here in these streets. So my cell phone was turned
quickly.
off, my cable was turned off, I went grocery shopping at my mama's house. It was tough. It was tough. So son, I don't know if I can ship you any groceries to Texas or not, but I pray that you don't go through what your mama went through. I just know it was tough. When I was 22 years old, my mom passed away, and a few months later, I purchased my first home. That was around like 2010. So I tried to sell that house because I had to relocate for work. Um, my realtor called me and said that somebody broke into my house and they stole my appliances. They stole my doggone lawnmower. Who steals a lawnmower? I do not know. They stole my central AC unit. So yeah. So I had a hard time selling that house. So now I am 26 years old. I have a repo. I have a foreclosure on my credit at 26. So in
Mhm.
2014, I filed for bankruptcy because I had no idea how to fix my credit. So again, we know that life happens. So whether you're here tonight, you want to learn how to fix your credit for a better credit score, if you want to buy a car, if you want to buy a house or whatever, you are in a judgment-free zone. Nicole, I
Absolutely.
know I'm not the only one that has a story like this. So, do you got a story for the people tonight, honey?
Well, I mean, it seems to be that most of our stories kind of parallel. We didn't get that credit and financial backing background from our parents. So just like anybody else, I thought I was grown and got out here in the world and realized it was a little harder than I was expecting it to be. And we
Mhm.
quickly maxed out credit cards and things like that, and had cars repossessed, and not just one, not just two, but we've been through it several times. And so by the time I had, let me see, my second child, we were really struggling and living in an apartment complex that I just hated living at. But unfortunately, our credit really didn't give us the options to do a lot of moving or have the biggest choices in the nicest neighborhoods. And I remember the first night living there, we had people running through the breezeway shooting. So I knew that this was going to be
Wow.
it was going to be short lived here. But unfortunately, we were there for almost 5 years because we just didn't quickly pick up on fixing our credit fast enough to get out. And when we decided to purchase our home, the first comments we got was file bankruptcy. No, you can't do it. We were rejected by so many lenders. It wasn't funny, but we finally got our credit fixed through
Mhm.
some trials and some tribulations, and we are now homeowners. We've been in our house for 16 years. We've
Yes.
overcome a lot. And in the process, I've taught myself how to do credit. I've repaired other people's credit and just trying to teach them the basics of the mindset with credit. Because once we get over, it's not our fault, it's somebody else's. We tend
Mhm.
to realize that if we keep it right, we don't have to keep fixing it. But not only that, it gives us options. There's nothing like being able to walk into the dealership and know that you don't have to take the car that they gave you.
Girl,
You
yes.
can have the one you want.
Like,
Yeah,
no. You go in there
exactly.
with the check in your hand, pre-approval from
Yeah,
the bank. Like, yeah,
that's it. That was
no.
the best feeling after going through all of that, to be able to go to the bank knowing I had the check and all my financing was already set and I just picked out what I want. That was one of the best feelings.
Yes. Hey, George, how you doing, honey? Thanks for tuning in. Hello, 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 hello. All right, let's get back to our story. We got a lot to cover tonight, you guys.
Yes, we do.
All right, so you guys drop in the box below. Why are you guys here? Why are you tuning in tonight? Why are you here? Do you want to fix your credit to buy a house? Do you want to fix your credit to Do you want to fix your credit to be a first-time homeowner? Do you just want to build your credit, or do you need a loan? Do you just need some extra cash in your pocket? So let us know why you guys are here tonight. All right, let me get back to my PowerPoint. All right, so the first step is we're going to talk about taking charge of your credit score. So before you can take charge of your credit score, you're going to have to change your mindset. And Nicole just said that a few seconds ago. You need to change your mindset. You may only want to change your credit to get a car, but I really, really encourage you guys to think bigger. You got to think bigger. Okay. So your goal may be to achieve the bare minimum and to buy a house with a 580 credit score or a 630 credit score to get a conventional loan. But you know what, you guys, last year I hired a credit coach to help me build my business. And a lot of people don't know that. But I couldn't afford this coach. I could not afford this coach. Because the year before I made no money after my expenses and all of my deductions. I made no money. But I told her my goal and she asked me to double that goal. I was like, there is no doggone way that I'm going to double this goal or whatever. But last year I made six figures in 6 months. I made six figures in 6 months. Um, I remind you that I made no money the year before, but I stayed committed and I ended up making six figures. So I didn't make the goal that I doubled, that I wanted to double, but I made what
Mhm.
I wanted to make it more. So what we're saying tonight is think bigger. Don't think of 580, don't think of 620 or whatever. We want you to think bigger. We want you to think higher than that. So if your goal is a 580, make it a 720. If your goal is a 680, make it an 800. But think bigger. Drop your goals in the box below. What do you guys want to do? Why do you want to improve your credit? Drop your goals below. So now let's get started. So we know that good credit is critical, you guys. Banks, they won't give you a loan if you have a bad credit score. Credit card companies, they will reject you, and insurance companies may charge you a higher rate or whatever. So if you have a low credit score, the utility company may require a security deposit before they'll turn anything on. Y'all know that. Yeah, some people can go up in there and don't have to pay anything, but some of us we got to pay about $500 to get our lights turned on.
Yeah.
And we're already struggling trying to get this security deposit. But anyway, let's go back on our apartment. But anyway, so in this case, you are trying to buy a home and you need to get pre-approved with the lower interest, right? So the higher your score, the lower your interest sometimes. But unfortunately, it's pretty easy to hurt your credit score. And most of us, we've had bad credit, we've had repos, we've had foreclosures, we've had bankruptcies, you name it. But something as simple as being late on a loan can cause serious damage to your credit score. So if your actions have lowered your score, you're not alone. Millions of people have experienced the same thing, including me and Nicole. So
Mhm.
Nicole, if you want to start off, oh wait, I have more. Hold on, I got a few more slides. So look, y'all, the good news is you can repair your and improve your credit score. You've probably seen advertisements for credit repair companies, but the truth is these companies can't take any actions that you can take yourself. You don't need to hire a company to fix your credit. You can do it on your own. Believe it
Mhm.
or not, you can do it on your own. Nicole and I, we are actually creating a journal for you guys. We're creating a book for you guys to kind of help you guys fix your credit. So yeah, we're working on something for you guys. So in this workshop, we're going to give you guys a step-by-step process to follow in order to repair your credit and to increase your credit score. All right. So I do want you guys to keep in mind that this is not an overnight process, and depending on how low your score is, it can take some time to improve it. But if you follow these steps, your score will improve, and don't get discouraged if things don't turn around right away. Just keep at it because at the end it'll be well worth it. Are y'all ready? Give me some hearts, give me some likes if you guys are ready. Are you guys ready to take a dive in? Nicole, you are up next, honey.
All right. So the first thing we want to do is understanding your credit score. Before you can begin credit repair, repair to your credit score, it's important that you understand what factors affect it. There are a number of specific things that affect your credit score. If you don't pay attention to all of them, you will unknowingly hurt your score. And that's one thing that in my story, that I didn't give full disclosure on, is that my lender gave me some information and not even she understood how credit worked. And it actually caused my credit score to go down before it came back up. And that's a sad place to be when you think you're going to close on your house in a few weeks. Um, your credit score can range from 300 to
I'm sorry,
850.
Nicole. So
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
right. I've heard stories like that a lot as well.
Absolutely.
They people are giving people bad advice and they are giving them wrong advice. And this is why we're doing this right now because you have so many people, they call us every day and they say, "Hey, look, I want to buy a house. I want to do this, but I don't know where to start." And unfortunately, this is where we start. And in our neighborhoods, we're taught the wrong things whenever it comes to credit. Or sometimes,
Absolutely.
we may get like in a bad situation, like, people with low income or somebody may lose their job, with COVID, different things we get in different situations and we end up ruining our credit score. So I'm sorry, go on.
Absolutely. No, you're fine because doing that case, like she told me, just pay off everything, start small, pay off everything. And that might have been great if I had a year or so to help my credit score. But when I did that and I only had a few weeks for my credit score to rebound, I didn't have enough time after paying all that stuff out for my credit score to heal. So in other words, I didn't get that house. I did not get
That's
that house because of that. Yeah. But your credit score can range from 300 to 850 and represents how likely you are to pay money back that you borrowed. In the eyes of lenders, the lower your score, the less likely that you are to repay the funds that you borrowed. So that's the mechanism that they use to determine whether or not they're going to get their money back, like most of us. This is why it's so important to build your credit score. If you have a low score, lenders are very hesitant to give you money. If your score is below 560, you are considered bad credit.
560.
So,
They don't give you much, huh?
uh-huh. So just imagine that when we have clients that want to come in and all they have is a 580. Yes, we can get a loan, but you're right there at the borderline of being considered bad credit. And for some lenders, they are looking at that 580 as not the best.
Exactly. And this is why you should double that number and think bigger. Not double, but think bigger, you guys. Think
Mhm.
bigger than that 580. Because like
Absolutely.
Nicole said, I think you said you've seen people who's like something that may pop up later on and it will cause them not to get that house. So just think
Absolutely.
bigger than the minimum.
And there's nothing like being in the process of buying your house and you're got your fingers and your toes crossed that cable bill doesn't come back to haunt you at the wrong time, because I've seen it so many times that bill that weren't thinking about, or that hospital bill that was out there kind of circulating, hits your credit. And so if you're already at a 580 and something hits your credit, 9 times out of 10 it's going to knock you well below your threshold of being able to get qualified, and now we're having to figure out how to get your points back up.
Exactly.
So there are 5 factors that determine your score. The first is payment history. Paying bills on time is really important for your overall score. Late payments, having accounts sent to collection agencies, or defaulting on accounts will significantly hurt you. Bankruptcy is also damaging to your score. Second would be credit usage. So that's an issue that a lot of us have, is credit
Yes.
usage. Usage is how much of your available credit you use. For example, if you have a credit card with a $10,000 limit and you have a $3,500 balance on that card, your credit utilization rate is 35%. A low credit utilization rate is better for your credit score. So we don't want to have our cards maxed out because it makes us look like we don't know how to manage our credit.
Exactly.
Number 3 would be your credit mix. Typically, it's better to have experience with different types of credit than just a single category. All things being equal, a person who managed to have both a home loan and a credit card will probably have a higher score than someone that just only had a credit card.
And you guys,
Makes
later
sense?
on, we're gonna definitely elaborate as we get further
Absolutely.
down. But right now, we want you guys to understand what affects your score. So, yeah, we kind of start off breaking it down. And then towards the end, we're going to tell you how to fix it.
Absolutely. So, fourth would be the age of accounts. Creditors like to see that you've had credit for some time, not just new accounts. So, older accounts generally help raise your credit score. So, we don't want to close out that credit card account that you've had since you were a teenager. You want to keep that one and keep it in good standings. And the last one would be credit applications. And that's when someone examines your credit report to determine whether to give you credit. It's called a hard inquiry. Hard inquiries can lead to a decrease in your credit score. So when we go get a car and they tend to try 5 or 6, well, and sometimes 10 to 12 different places, those are all different inquiries. And I can guarantee you it's going to affect your score.
And they'll
So
note on
focus.
there that you have multiple, that you have a lot.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But when
You're
you
showing you're
don't know, you
desperate.
don't know.
Wait,
Right.
we've already done that one. Sorry. Exactly. You're right.
Which one you said we already done?
The credit applications, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So focus on the things that you have that have the biggest impact on your score. As you work to increase your score, keep these 5 factors in mind. Focus on the things that have the biggest impact on your score. So, generally speaking, there are 4 types of credit. It's also important to understand the types of consumer credit available to you. And we'll talk about what those 4 types are. So, the first type is revolving credit. Revolving credit is such as credit cards that allow you to borrow up to a certain amount every month. You're not required to pay it all back at once, um, all back at full at the end of the month. But the larger the balance is unpaid, the more interest is paid that you have to that you accrue on that card. The next one is charge cards. I know a lot of people are like, credit cards, charge cards. I thought they were all the same. Charge
Right.
cards are essentially the same as credit cards, but credit card they require you to pay the balance in full at the end of the month. That's like your American Express. A lot of people know American Express to be the where you have to pay it at the end of the month, and it's a good thing. So we don't look at it as a negative. Your third type would be your service credit. Service credit is when a person provides a specific service when your bills, then bills you after the fact. This is like your cell phone bill. Your utilities is considered a service credit. Usually, service credit doesn't show up on your credit report. However, if you fall behind on paying these bills, they will report them to the credit bureau and it will be sent to collections and it does affect your credit score. So I've seen people with Duke Energy bills, our cable bills and stuff that hit our credit. And it's because a lot of times once we move and we don't no longer need it, we don't pay that final bill, it's
Yep.
going to land on your credit. And those things you will pay sooner or later. So you might as well go ahead if you can make arrangements with them so that you can take care of that thing, that bill. And
Hmm.
lastly is your installment credit. Your installment credit comes in the form of loans. This can be a personal loan. You borrow a specific amount of money and then repay it over the life of the loan.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, y'all. So now let's talk about some steps you can take to repair and raise your credit score. All right. So I guess this is what everyone has been waiting on. Let's talk about it,
Yes.
Nicole. All right. So let me get my pillow right. All right. So the first thing you guys want to do is you want to examine your credit report. This right here is the most important step. Okay. So just listen. So the first thing you want to do is the first step to repairing your credit is to know exactly what's on your credit report. You want to know the good, you want to know the bad, and you want to know the ugly. The good, the bad, and the ugly. Look, y'all, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be very, very tough. It's gonna be very painful. It's gonna take but you gotta take a painful, long, hard look at your credit report. And you'll be reminded of all the financial mistakes you've made. I'm telling you guys, it hurts. It hurts. It does. But you can't fix things if you don't know what the problems are. It's almost like therapy. You can't fix it. You don't recognize an issue with yourself until somebody else tell you about it. and you can't fix it until you know that you actually have a problem because it's everybody else's issue and it's not yours. All right.
Yes.
So the first step is you need to go get your free yearly copy of your credit report from annualcreditreport.com. Again, that's annualcreditreport.com. In the United States, there are 3 different credit bureaus. So when we ask you what's your credit score, you give me one. Yeah, you need to go find the other 2. So they're called Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. So the credit report from annual credit report, I can't, Jesus, annualcreditreport.com, it will contain your credit score at each of the credit bureaus. You can also order a credit 3-in-1 credit report from any one of
Mhm.
the bureaus, although you have to pay for it. So there can be a difference between the 3 bureaus. So it's very important that you guys order that you get all 3. Identity IQ, you can go on there. They give you all 3 of your scores, and that'll be easier because you'll have everything lined up, and that way you can kind of go down each row and see like, okay, this doesn't match this, so that right there, what's the error? Those when you're able to line them up side by side is very helpful. Okay. So once you've obtained your credit report, read it very closely. The report can be pretty long and detailed, so give yourself plenty of time to go through it. You guys, I know that this is called 10-minute DIY credit report repair. This right here is going to take the longest. But once you know what's on there, like I said, it's only going to take you about 10 minutes each month, and we're going to talk about that later. All right. So on your credit report, you will see your personal information like your social security number, your birthday, your addresses, and your employers. Okay. So the credit information, including both open and closed accounts, creditors' names, your original loan amounts, your payment history, your credit limits, your amounts owed, and more. Sounds like a lot, but it's not that bad. It's going to also have your public record data. It's going to be taken from the courts, like your bankruptcies and different things like that. Your hard credit inquiries. Got stuff popping up on my computer from potential creditors who are evaluating your credit worthiness. Boop, boop, boop. So, as you read your report, you need to look for the following items. The first one is going to be the errors. You're going to look for errors. Are there any accounts that don't actually belong to you? Are there late payments that weren't actually late? So what you need to do is you need to make a record of any of these errors later for later follow-up. Number 2 is your past due accounts. This includes payments that are late and accounts that have been charged off or handed over to collection agencies. You need to look at your current credit accounts. So, in particular, you're looking for any credit accounts that are either over the limit or at the maximum. And we're going to talk about this later. All right. So, you're going to approach each of the above situations differently. So, you may want to use a different color highlighter or pens to flag each scenario. So for each one, your late payments, your late is late payments on that? No, your errors, you want to flag those. You want to flag each item 1, 2, 3, and 4. You want to flag each one with a different color so you can go back and find it later on. So reading your credit report for the first time, I'm telling you guys, I said this earlier, it can be very overwhelming. But depending on your financial activity, there can be a lot of information to sort through. So it can also be intimidating when you see the amount of work required to repair your credit. So if you're feeling like this, I really, really need you guys to remember that you're only going to take it one step at a time. You're going to take it one step at a time. And also, you need to keep in mind that you don't have to fix everything at once. Step by step, you'll progressively improve your credit score as you take the right actions. So for now, just focus on highlighting all the important information. Okay? So we're done with step 1 already.
That's it.
That's it, girl. You up, girl.
Okay, so step two, you want to dispute the errors. The next step in repairing your credit is disputing the errors on your report. If you think that any information on your credit report is incorrect or incomplete, you have the right to dispute it. So, credit disputes can be made online, by phone, or through the mail. You should receive the instructions about how to file a dispute when you order your credit report. So when you order the credit report, it definitely will give you all the addresses and things and ways to do it. What the reasons for some of the errors that you'll find is a creditor made a mistake and reported a late payment or default incorrectly. A collection agency incorrectly reported collecting on a debt that doesn't actually belong to you. And we see that a lot, especially if you're a junior or have a very common name. Your identity was stolen and new credit accounts were opened with your information. And or one of your existing accounts, like a credit card, was compromised and used by someone not authorized. Now, I've been through this a couple of times lately, and I will be so glad when they take Nicole off their list of people to mess with because I'm tired of having to get new cards.
Got him.
Yes, because the banks are getting savvy now because it used to be a time if you had a dispute or anything like that with credit card charges and things like, especially with your bank charges, they would just go ahead and give you the money, and then if they couldn't prove it, they would take it back. Now they're making you wait. And I think the last one I had happened about a month ago. They made me wait 10 days and finally gave me back my money.
But that's crazy though. Banks need to understand people ain't got money. Y'all can see my account. Stop playing with me.
Exactly. Because somebody got some nice furniture, and I was making their payments for a couple of months until I realized it. So, how to dispute an error. Excuse me. If there are errors on your report, not fraud, there are a number of ways you can dispute them. File online, by mail, or phone, like we said. What's the best method to file a credit dispute? Well, filing online is the quickest and the easiest way to do it. The problem is that you don't have evidence regarding your dispute. There's also the case. This is also the case when filing by the phone. I can't even talk tonight. You can tell it's getting late. This is also the case when filing by phone. So when we're filing our disputes or doing disputes, we want to file by mail if you can. It has certain distinct advantages. You can include concrete proof along with your dispute, like the credit card statement showing that you made the payment on time. You also have a paper record of your dispute. Make sure that you make copies of everything you send. If
Everything.
you're gonna put it in the mail, make a copy of it before you send it, because otherwise you have no record of what you just sent. Okay,
Everything.
everything.
I told them what last week. I remember when I was used to file mine. Look, y'all don't have to type these things up. They're not
Right,
required, honey. You better write them on a sheet of paper and make a copy of it.
you
Take a
got it.
picture with your phone or something. But you need some copies.
That's
So
right. It's
I'm
called
sorry.
pen and paper,
Yes,
and
honey.
write it out. So, then sending a dispute letter via certified mail ties your claim to a specific date. So that way we know what date you sent it out. And the credit bureaus must respond within 30 to 45 days. You are not required to mail them in certified. You're not required to type them up. Um, like Jesse said, she used a sheet of paper. So you're not required to do those things, the typing and make it formal, but just make sure you do it and send it. When you file your credit disputes, be sure to include the following: a copy of your credit report, highlight the item that you're actually disputing, proof of that supports your claim so that you don't have them sending back and asking questions. You want to have it all there so that you can get this done. And concrete, explicit request that the erroneous information be either corrected or removed. Okay. We want to make sure we're telling them exactly what we want done. So including supporting proof is important. If you don't include enough, the credit bureaus may consider your claim to be frivolous. If that's the case, they won't investigate it and they won't issue updates on your credit report. However, if it's determined that your dispute is appropriate, an investigation will happen. In many cases, the Bureau will simply contact the creditor in question, determine if the information is correct or incorrect, and then have them to respond to the claim. Alternatively, you can file disputes directly with the creditor. So you can call them directly, the credit card company or the bank, and dispute those things that you see that are wrong. Under the same legal requirement to invest, are under the same legal requirement to investigate those things that you're disputing. So after your dispute, one or two things is going to happen. So if it's a successful dispute, your credit report will be updated. The other credit bureaus will be notified, and you will be issued an updated version of your credit report. So if it's not successful, there's no change to your credit score, and the report will note that you disputed an item. So they do put it out there that you did dispute it. Sorry, y'all. You can always add a statement to your credit report that provides context for the dispute, and provide clarity when future creditors look at your report. So if you feel like you need to have people understand what was going on, you can actually add that statement to your credit so that you actually can have a little bit of verbiage on there for your side. So if your dispute is unsuccessful,
Oh, I'm sorry. So today I was taking I'm taking this training for USD loan packaging or whatever.
okay,
And that's like one of the things that they have in there, whenever we're doing it. If there's like an issue with their report, if they're late on a payment or something like that, to explain it, type it up. Because sometimes they will ask you to explain, even your lender. So it's there. You have your statement there on your credit report explaining exactly what happened. You lost your job or whatever, you can explain it. So yes,
absolutely.
it's very helpful.
Absolutely. And a lot of people don't know that you have the right to do that. We can say it, but a lot of times you don't get that chance to explain what happened when somebody pulls your credit, because they don't call you and ask. They just give you a denial. So if you have the opportunity, go in there and put that statement on there, because it does help. It does help. So if your
Yeah.
dispute is unsuccessful, you do have further options. You can file a complaint with the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. If you choose to file a complaint with the CFPB, provide as much information as possible, including all your correspondence with the credit bureau. After you file your complaint, the CFPB, I'm gonna get it right, will work with the credit bureaus to attempt to resolve your complaint. So that is another solution, just in case something is happening there, you feel like you're just not getting where you need to be because you know the information is wrong. Filing credit disputes is certainly a tedious process, but it's absolutely necessary. We said absolutely necessary if you want to repair your credit. If you don't dispute incorrect information, it will remain on your credit report and continue to drag your score down.
Yes, that's your right, you guys. It's not illegal. It's your right.
You
Okay.
have the right.
There we go. So, all right. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some steps to take if your identity was stolen. Nicole should have took this section because she's an expert. But
I want them to leave me alone.
so y'all, if you believe your identity was stolen, it's critical that you take immediate action. The longer you wait, the more fraudulent activity can take place on your account. So you really need to make sure that you follow these steps. So the very first step is to contact each of the three credit bureaus. Earlier, we talked about this. It's not one credit bureau, it's three. You have Equifax, you have Experian, and you have TransUnion. And you have them placed for fraud. Have them place fraud on your account, you guys. I'm gonna get it right. My mouth is dry. Step 2, freeze your credit report so that potential creditors are not able to view your credit reports. Okay. So this makes it more difficult for new accounts to be open. I know I've worked with some buyers before, people buying homes. They've had their credit frozen. The lenders, Okay, we have to work around it. We have to unfreeze it. But yeah, it's okay to freeze it. It's not gonna stop anything, but you have the right. I think you have a code or something to unfreeze it or whatever if you need
Mhm.
to somebody need to show proof or something like that. But this is your right to freeze your credit. Step 3, you need to report all the theft to the FTC and your local police department. Your local police department. So what this does, it'll create what is called an identity theft report, which can then be used to resolve fraudulent transactions on your credit report. Believe that one of your existing accounts, such as a credit card, has been accessed by unauthorized people, you should immediately contact the creditor. Usually, the creditor will immediately cancel the cards and issue you a new one, and then correct your credit report with the proper information. Now, make sure you let them know that your card was stolen because it could happen. Like they did Nicole. They'll send you another card. Nicole, you said you told them that it was stolen, didn't you?
Yes, but see, the thing about it is when we did it, she said, "Hey, I'll let you keep your card open and we'll close it out once we send you the next one." Well, you know that ain't how that happened. They closed out my card, and I still ain't received my other one in the mail yet. So we're gonna see about this one. But I guess it's teaching me some good budgeting skills because I have to make sure I have enough money on hand to do what I have to do. So it's working.
It's okay.
It's working
That
all for
keeps
my
your
good.
utilization rate down, right?
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Exactly.
Step 3, address accounts that are past. Oh, we already done?
No,
Are we? Step 3, address accounts that are past due. So
mm,
after taking care of any errors, I feel like I skipped something. Give me one
no, you
second,
didn't.
y'all. No. Okay.
Mhm.
You want me to take this one or you got it, Nicole?
Either way, I can take it. So step 3 is address the accounts that are past due. After taking care of your errors on your credit report, you'll want to start working on the past due accounts. The objective is to get all your accounts paid and current. So the biggest factor in your credit score, like we said, is your payment history, which makes up 35% of your credit score. So if that's your biggest factor, pay your bills on time.
Say it again, girl.
For real, pay your bills on time. There is no reason to start doing credit repair if you're still paying your bills late. We're wasting, we're going in circles. And all I can hear is that song talking about going in circles.
Got me going in circle. Is that the first song? Wrong
Yes.
song? All right, go on.
This means that if you have past due accounts, your credit score will significantly suffer. So we want to make sure those accounts are taken care of. When one of your accounts is more than 180 days past due, is considered a charge off. Charge offs are really bad for your credit score, and you want to do whatever you can to keep them from going on your credit report. So even if you have to call and make arrangements with the companies, call and make arrangements with those companies to keep those credit cards into going in charge off status. With this in mind, working on paying accounts off that are past due or in danger of being charged off, you want to make sure we're working with those companies. I know a lot of times we get nervous and we don't want to talk to the uh, credit card collectors when they're calling, because they are calling and they're calling and they're calling. Pick up the phone, because there are programs and they will negotiate with you. Tell them that you're very eager to avoid paying for the account going charged off, and they may be willing to dismiss some of the late payments, the late fees, excuse me, and let you pay the balance over several months instead of all at once. So these companies want to get their money back and they are willing to work with you. You just have to pick up the phone.
Pick
Okay.
up the
That's
phone.
it. So when it comes to accounts that have been charged off, you're still responsible for paying them. So regardless of whether we want to or not, whether you're using that card or not, you still owe that balance. So you want to make sure um, that you continue paying it. It's possible that a creditor may be willing to settle in a charge off for less than the amount that you owe them. You'll need to negotiate with the creditor to determine if that's possible. If you don't deal with the charge off, you're going to find it really difficult to secure a new card or a new loan. Okay. Once your charged off account is fully paid, is your credit report will show a zero balance that has been paid. However, the charge off will still show up on your credit report for 7 years. Understood? So it's still going to sit on there unless it's removed, and it's going to show that that card actually charged off. In addition to past due and charged off balances, you must handle accounts that have been sent to collections. With these accounts, you can follow the same steps as the charge off accounts by fully paying off the balance or settling with the creditor for a lesser balance. Like with charge offs, your credit report will reflect these activities for 7 years. Okay, so step
I need to
4.
go. Oh, I'm behind. Oh, you just moved. You way ahead of me. Hold on. Jesus. Okay. Step 4. I was like, what she said? I thought you just all right, my bad, y'all. So step 4, bring down your high balances. So after your payment history, so we have your payment history, you have your credit utilization rate. That's your second highest factor in your overall credit score. So that's about 30%. So your payment history is what, 35? And then your utilization rate is about 30%. So this is why it's very important that you bring this down. So remember, I just said this before. Remember, credit utilization rate is the percentage of the available credit you've used. So for example, if you have a $5,000 in available credit and you have a total balance of $2,500, your credit utilization rate is 50%, you guys. If you're thinking about buying a house, we say you keep your utilization rate around 10%. So yes, so this means that if you have a really high balance, your credit score will be brought down. If your credit cards are maxed out or close to maxed out, start paying those balances down. So ideally, your credit utilization rate should be below 10%, but if you can get it below 30%, that's a good starting place. So your loan balances are also affected. Your loan balances also affect your credit score. The higher your balance compared to the original, the more it hurts your score. So if you can pay down your overall balances, it will benefit you. However, credit card debt hurts you more than loan debt does. So remember that, you guys, that slice of pizza that you just put on that credit card, that DoorDash that's on your credit card, that's gonna cost. It's gonna hurt you a lot more than a personal loan or mortgage or something like that. So you definitely want to make sure that you're paying off your credit cards first. So let's talk about this again. Put it in the box below. Which is more important, your credit card balances or your past due accounts? Which is more important, your credit card balances or your past due accounts? Obviously, you don't have unlimited funds to invest in repairing your credit, you guys. You don't. So you still have to pay your bills and you still have to buy groceries. So how should you prioritize your efforts? How should you do it? Let's talk about it. So because your payment history is a bigger factor in your credit score, you should focus first on getting your accounts current. So once you've dealt with the accounts that are past due or even close to it, you guys, you can then move on to bringing down your high credit or loan balances. Finally, you need to deal with your charge off accounts and those sent to collections. So let's talk about the order again, just in case. And for those of you guys who just tuned in, the first thing you need to do is you need to handle your past due accounts. Your high credit or your loan balances are next. And then you need to focus on your charged off and your collections. Got that? Number 5.
Okay.
Let's talk about building
So
your credit. Go, Nicole.
So to build credit, so after you've done that, we want to try to start establishing new credit. So when it comes to repairing your credit, there are two sides of the coin. On one side, you want to eliminate as much negative information as possible. This is why you tackle like your past due accounts and your high credit balances. On the other side, you want to add positive credit data to your credit report. If you're consistently doing things like making on-time payments, your credit score will go up. Y'all hear that? It will go up. It helps. So how do you get new credit? One simple way is to get a new credit card, make purchases, and then make payments on time. I tell clients all the time, a lot of us are afraid to get credit cards, but if you're using it right, it is a powerful tool that can be used to help you with your credit. You have to have something positive on there. So you absolutely must make your payments on time. If you don't, you'll only be hurting your credit score even further. If you think you can make payment, if you don't think you can make payments on time, don't get the new card. Let's figure out something another way because we will hurt our credit really bad. Avoid applying for too many credit cards at once. When you apply, you get that hard inquiry, which is on your credit, which goes on your credit report and can pull your credit score down. Once you start getting those cards and you're starting to establish your credit, you're going to start getting the offers in the mail. So try to make sure you have a game plan before they come that you're not going to get, but maybe two, and then start throwing the other offers away. You can apply for a credit card from the major companies like Discover, American Express, MasterCard. When searching for a credit card, notice the details of the terms on the card. Please check to see what exactly. Check to see what the recommended credit score is. This will help you know the odds of being approved for a particular card. So if it's a major credit card and you know that they don't and you look at the fine print and their credit score minimum is 680, don't apply for the credit card if you have a 600. It's just a
Right.
waste. Check to make sure what the annual fee is. Some cards require that you pay a fee every year. And also you want to check your APR, which is your annual percentage rate. This is the interest you will pay on the credit cards. And a lot of those credit cards are 19 to 27%, especially when we're rebuilding. So you want to try to find something that is a lot lower. So if you don't get approved by a major credit card company, you have a few other options. What can we do? You can apply for a secured credit card. With these cards, you put down a security deposit that will be used if you fail to make payments. If you faithfully make payments on time for 6 months or so, you often are given the option to upgrade that secured card. And that's
There's
when it feels good.
They start throwing that money at you, honey. They throwing
Yes,
it at you, honey.
yes.
Yes, yes.
And they normally send you back your deposit and they revert and convert your card over to something new. You may
Yes.
also want to consider your retail cards. Please be careful with these retail cards, y'all. We get excited when we get in the stores and they say, "Do you want to try?" And
The
you know you
Amazon card got
already
to get maxed out quick. Amazon. It's like-
listen, Amazon, Victoria's Secret. Then I had to have a credit card for the baby.
it gets depressing. Okay, we're not gonna do it. We're not gonna go. We're
I
not gonna
know.
go back, y'all. We're moving forward. We're moving
We
forward.
going forward. We going forward. These cards are often easier to get than the cards from the larger credit cards companies. So that's why we say be careful because once you start with one, they will start sending them. Other tips for building solid credit. In addition to getting a new card and using it to build up your credit, there are a number of other specific tactics you can use to improve your credit score. So, one of my favorite things is that you can team up with someone who has good credit and a good payment history. You hear me, good credit and good payment history. For example, let's say that your spouse has a really solid credit history and a credit card that's relatively low balance. They can add you as an authorized user to that credit card. When they do that, their available credit becomes yours and you begin to benefit from their payments, on their on-time payments. There's some keys to this. We said somebody with a solid credit history, making on-time payments, and have low balances.
Thank you. That's
Okay.
yeah. That low balance. That'll hurt you. Remember, on time,
You got
low
it.
balances.
Low
So
balances.
if you got a $300
And
credit,
also,
$300 credit limit, and they spending $100, that's still too much. Sorry, it's too much. Go on.
we want to keep it as low as possible when you're in the rebuilding phase. I know it can be tedious, but just taking it and doing a little bit at a time so that you eventually get to the score is worth it. When you see that 780, it's like
Yes.
been there, done
Girl,
that.
that
I promise y'all.
700 had me like, yeah, honey. But like, oh, we
That's
thinking
when
big though. We thinking
that's
big.
it. That's
780,
it.
honey.
That's it. So consider keeping your older credit cards. Don't close out your cards. Um, Wait till you get to a point where if you need to later on, after you've done established and got what you needed, if you want to close out something, but don't close out your older ones. Why? Because the age of your credit history impacts your credit score. Having an older card on your credit report extends the total age of your credit. So enroll, you also can enroll in Experian Boost program. This is a program you connect your bank account that you can use to pay your utilities, your self bills to Experian. Then you highlight, this will highlight on time payments that you've made to these companies, and these payments are added to your credit report. Once they are added, your score will start to increase. So that's
See?
like using the things that we would use every day and pay our utilities. Those things are counted on your credit, so it helps. Another
But,
way, yes,
but, but,
but
but, if
mhm,
you ain't paying them bills on time, don't enroll, please. Thank you.
please, thank you.
Don't. You don't want to hurt yourself.
And try to, because I know we used to do alternative credit a lot with clients that didn't have credit scores and things like that, but unfortunately if you weren't paying those bills on time, these companies are not going to lie for you.
Mm-mm.
They're not going to lie for you, because now they know what you're out here doing and you're trying to buy a house. So the likelihood of you starting to pay your stuff on time is greater if they tell the truth, because they know you're going to get denied and you're going to start paying that bill.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the next things is you can get a secured loan, which is similar to a secured credit card. Essentially, you deposit a set amount into a bank account, and then you can borrow against the deposit amount. When you make on time payments, they're added to your credit report, and your credit score can increase. You can also look into nonprofit lending organizations. And I'm always baffled by this, because before I didn't realize that this was an option. And so I started looking into it. I was like, okay, might have to try that one. In
Right.
recent years, a number of organizations have been created that are designed to help people get financing and build their credit. For example, Mission Asset Fund makes small loans available to certain individuals, which can be used to improve your credit score. So we have to use all the resources we can.
Yes, you guys, it's very important that you make healthy financial behaviors. So, in addition to knowing how to repair your credit and build your credit, it's also important to implement healthy financial behaviors. So, if you don't have healthy, and we've said this 1,000 times, if you don't have healthy financial behaviors, you're going to end up sabotaging your efforts to repair your
Mhm.
credit. My mouth is still dry. Here's what you need to keep in mind. So you need to consider your debt to income ratio. Your debt to income ratio, some people know it as a DTI. So it's your total monthly debt divided by your gross monthly income. So for example, if you have $1,000 in monthly debt and a gross monthly income of $10,000, your DTI ratio is 10%.
Mhm.
So the lower your DTI, the better. So for example, if you are applying for a mortgage, you usually need a DTI ratio of less than 43%. Most lenders really want to see around 36%. But additionally, mortgage studies indicate that if you have a high DTI, you'll find it more challenging to make your monthly payments on time.
Mhm.
Budgeting. A budget helps you effectively manage your finances. it helps you calculate the amount of expenses you have every month and then balance those expenses against your income. So if you don't have a budget, you may not have enough income to cover your monthly credit. You guys, monthly, you need to make sure you're checking your budget monthly. Monthly. This month, next
Absolutely.
month, you may have a birthday party you're planning for. You may have to a vacation or anything like that. So this is why it's very important to check your budget monthly because you may have to adjust some things, adjust your spending habits. You may not want to buy this coffee this month. You may not want to get Starbucks. You may not want to do certain things. So you want to adjust your spending habits. This is why it's very important for you to sit down each month and take a look at your budget and your finances because they change
Absolutely.
from month to month.
Because we're coming up on school
Number
time.
yeah, honey, honey. I don't even want to talk about that. Number three is comparison shopping. When trying to get credit like an auto loan, it's really important to shop around. So different lenders offer different interest rates. And it's not just an auto loan, it's important for you to shop around with the mortgage as well. So let's talk about that. So different lenders offer different interest rates and fees. And these can significantly affect your monthly payments. Compare different lenders against each other and go with the one that offers you the best deal. So, fraud protection. So, a few things can tank your credit score faster than fraud. Few things can. Few things can. So if someone steals your identity, they can open up new credit accounts in your name, all of which go on your credit score. If someone steals your credit card, they can rack up thousands of dollars in fraudulent purchases and then never make payments. But we talked about this last week. You may have some that's nice and that's very friendly, and they may set your stuff up on auto pay and make those payments for you. Just saying.
It wasn't the ones that was using mine. I'm just gonna say that part. But I still
So
take the money if they want to send it back.
So look, it's absolutely necessary that you work hard to protect your credit yourself against fraud. Keep a close watch on your credit statements for anything that looks suspicious. If you see anything, immediately contact your credit card issuer. This is where I go wrong because I never look at my credit card statements. I never look at my bank statements. Lord, I'm just like, I have like arrows just pointing at me because it's just like, yeah, I'm easy. I never check that stuff. I really need to do better. My husband, he knows if a penny come out of his account. I'm not like that. So also, also you may want to use an app like Credit Karma. Again, I told you guys there's something that's called Identity IQ as well. So this allows you to constantly monitor your credit report. If you see any accounts you don't recognize, get in contact with the credit bureau as soon as possible. Credit Karma is free. Identity IQ isn't. One thing you really, really need to remember is you need to be persistent and you need to be patient. Be persistent and be
Mhm.
patient because rebuilding your credit is a process that requires persistence and patience, you guys. So you must work persistently to dispute incorrect information. You need to catch up on your past due accounts, pay down your high credit balances, and build new credit. If you're not willing to put in the persistent work, your credit your credit simply won't improve. So you got to be persistent, you guys. And again, this takes about 10 minutes a month. Like I said, once you get past that very first hard step of looking at all of your credit issues, once you get past that, it's going to be easy from there. Very, very easy. But you got to be persistent and patient. You can't do it overnight. So repairing your credit also takes patience, depending on your credit history, how quickly you can bring past due accounts current, your credit mix, the age of your credit, and other factors. The process may take about a year. Don't be discouraged if things take longer than you expect.
You got it.
So we've talked about 5 specific steps in this workshop. Excuse me, y'all. The first thing you need to do is examine your credit report. You need to dispute any errors. You need to address accounts that are past due. You need to bring down your high balances, and you also need to build new credit. All right. So, if you follow these steps as well as the other suggestions regarding healthy financial behaviors, you'll begin to see your credit score rise. As your score rises, other opportunities will open, and we talked about that now. You're going to have people begging you for credit. They're going to be increasing your credit limit and everything before you know it. So yes, so do the work and be patient as you go. You'll be glad you did it. Nicole, you have anything you want to add before I give them that final notes?
No, I think that's it. I mean, we didn't destroy our credit overnight, even though sometimes it will feel like it. Just be patient with yourself. Give yourself some grace as you go through this journey. And remember, it's one thing at a time. So you don't have to tackle the whole credit report one thing at a time. And believe it or not, a lot of times it happens faster than we think once we get on a roll.
Definitely. So are you guys ready to start your journey? Are you ready? What's it? Are you ready? Party people. Oh wait, I went the wrong way. Wrong, wrong song. Showing my age here. Are you guys ready? So let's talk about this, you guys. So let's talk about our step-by-step guide. So everything we talked about tonight, everything that we discussed tonight is right here in this step-by-step guide because I know we talked about a lot. We've been on here for over an hour. So
Mhm.
everything that we discussed tonight, um, they would be in this slide. I mean, in this slide, Jesus, in this guide right here, you guys. So this is a digital copy. It's valued at $29.99 tonight. We're gonna offer it to you for only $12.99. We're also gonna include your top 12 dispute letters. We're gonna have the letters that the top 12, not my account, your how to remove your inquiries from your credit, your charge offs, your collections, your bankruptcies, and lots more. This right here is valued at $39. The cost tonight is only $12 as well. And if you want to buy a home, we have your home buying guide for 2022. It also talks about how to fix your personal credit and your business credit. This is valued at $49. It's also that it costs you $12.99 tonight. And you can get all three tonight, which is valued at 117 for only $27. Why? Because we love you so much. We're giving you everything for $27. So what you get your home buying guide, you get your credit guide, and you also get dispute letters for $27. You really can't beat that, you guys. And you can get that at www.instantwaymaker.com. And also, if you would like to book a one-on-one consultation, which includes a 20-minute consultation, the disputes letters, and your home buying guide and your step-by-step guide, you get all of that. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a personalized credit analysis. What's helping your score, how to boost your score, what's hurting your score, and we'll also hop on the phone together and analyze your current financial situation and come up with a strategic plan to give you to help you with the following steps. This that right there is also 300 valued at $300, but tonight is 99.99. You can get all of this at instantwaymaker.com. Tonight is our final night of doing this, Nicole, for a while. Um, Tonight is probably going to be the final night that you can get this on Instant Waymaker. We may leave it up here for the rest of the week, but we about to wrap up this month, honey.
Yes, we
Um,
are.
yes. So yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. That's the wrong slide. So because we didn't do pay anything paid tonight, so nobody paid for anything in advance. But yeah, we appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for attending. Again, you can get all of this at instantwaymaker.com up until the end of this. I'll give you guys until the end of this month. But next month is gonna be gone because we're working on something else for you guys. So yeah, it's gonna be gone.
Yes.
So get it while you can, get it while it's cheap, get it while it's on sale because it's about to disappear. It's about to
Yeah,
disappear, Nicole.
I know. But I'm
I'm excited
excited.
though.
I
Yeah.
am too. I'm excited for what's coming next. I really am.
Yes, I am. But y'all better get it while it's cheap because yes, it's about to be gone. Gone, gone. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate. Oh goodness, we have people up here. Hello, Samantha. Somebody asked. I missed all these questions. I didn't see any of these pop up when I was talking. They want to know, how does child support affect your credit, or how much weight does it carry? Child support affects your credit the same way as everything else affects your credit. Um, but yes, so definitely it does affect your credit. The same way. It's a bill.
It
And
is a bill.
other Facebook user says hello. I'm sorry, you guys. I didn't see this pop up. I usually get a little red bar over here in my corner to tell me that I have some notifications. But yes, thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate you guys, and we hope you guys have an awesome, awesome night. Talk to you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Right.